I do know that one of Godzilla's biggest villains is King Ghidorah, but King Ghidorah's first appearance is actually in 1964, which is the same year that we left off on today, which means maybe after Mothra, Godzilla might go after King Ghidorah next. Hello gorgeous people, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are back going over the amazing analog horror series called The Man in the Suit. Now, it's been 5 months since I covered this series, and that's because there hasn't been a ton of uploads from it. But when I uploaded that first video, you guys absolutely loved this series. I mean, 2.3 million views, that's literally one of the highest videos I've ever put out. And I was right in my prediction for this one, because the newest entry in The Man in the Suit is the Ghidorah suit incident. There also was another update video that I missed, so we'll be going over 2 new videos from the Man in the Suit today. But it has been 5 months since I made that last video, and that last video is an hour long, so I'm going to give you a very quick recap of everything that happened in this series so far. Basically, in 1954, they started shooting the Godzilla movies. Back in this time, it was just a bunch of actors in suits fighting on screen, and during the first Godzilla movie, the actor in the suit wore the suit quite often. During filming, the actor randomly stops moving and they try to take the suit off of him, but turns out that he fused to the suit. In the video's description, we find out that the actor sees Godzilla as a god and he wants to use the suit to become a god of good and evil. A year later, in 1955, is the Anguirus suit incident. For some reason, Toho decides to invite Goji back to film the sequel movie where Godzilla will fight Anguirus. The person in the Anguirus suit is not told that he's fighting a person that's fused with the Godzilla suit, and Godzilla ends up biting Anguirus' neck during a fight in the movie. The person in the Anguirus suit stops moving for a while, and when they try to remove him from the suit, they find out that the Anguirus actor is fused to his suit now too. In the description for this one, we find out that Godzilla plans on making an army that shows what happens when there is nuclear war, and he wants to avenge his family. Around 7 years later, when filming the King Kong vs. Godzilla movie, Goji is more aggressive than usual and falls off the cliff with King Kong in the movie and ends up drowning the actor in the suit. We find out that the person telling us the story throughout all these tapes is the cameraman for the film. Godzilla traces the cameraman down, calling him a traitor, but the cameraman does get away alive. My current theory at this point was that Godzilla is actually trying to get revenge for everything that happened with Hiroshima and the nuclear war and things like that, and because his family died in the Hiroshima bombing. A little while later, the cameraman decides to bring all the information that he has on Goji to his friend Elisa. Elisa basically tells him that the man in the suit is fusing to the suit more and becoming more of an animal, and that he eventually will need to be put down. The cameraman then decides to sneak around Toho to get some more info on Goji, and he finds a tape labeled compatibility test. This tape confirms that Toho is totally aware of the situation that they're in and decides to do tests on the man in the suit. In this tape, Toho decides to get the man out of the suit but fails and only takes off a piece of his back. They consider this a success for some reason, so it seems like Toho is like weirdly trying to do things with the man in the suit, but it's not 100% sure what their full intentions are. Oh, and the cameraman that was working at Toho has now been fired because they found out that he was basically leaking information on Goji to other people. We end up finding out from another tape that Toho does still have the man in the Anguirus suit, and they wanted him to fight Goji in another movie, but the man in the Anguirus suit does not comply. He didn't want to become this monstrous thing fused to a suit that he is now, but Toho does torture him a little bit by tasing him and other things like that to try to get him to fight Goji. Toho decides to not worry about the Anguirus suit anymore because they have a new idea for a movie, which is a movie about Godzilla fighting a giant moth. This leads us to the Masura suit incident. During another movie suit, Godzilla fights a giant moth called Masura, or also known as Mothra, but in this one it turns out Godzilla is actually just fighting a puppet rather than a person in a suit. But for Masura's larva in the movie, they decide to use people in suits. When Godzilla realizes that Masura is actually just a puppet after biting it, he gets super angry. He then decides to go after the person in the larva suit and bites them. The person in the larva suit was actually a female whose parents were on set watching the whole production of the movie, and when they saw their daughter get bitten while in the suit, the parents decide to approach him and they end up getting killed by Goji. The production team decides to separate the man in the suit from the larva in hopes that they'll be able to stop her from becoming another person in the suit, so they decide to tase Goji, and Goji runs off and escapes the entire production facility. This leads to several people seeing Godzilla just out on the street in the suit walking around. People take pictures, there's even a small newspaper article about it. But Toho's easily able to cover this up by saying it's just advertising for a new movie. When the production team does end up finding Godzilla, they approach him, but he decides to violently shake. And what he ends up doing is shooting out this red boiling liquid, which everyone thinks is his blood. But the whole point here is that the man in the suit isn't just the man in the suit anymore. He's actually getting Godzilla's powers. He shoots out his boiling blood, but it's similar to Godzilla's actual atomic breath blast that he shoots. This implies that anybody that becomes a part of their suit may also gain the powers of whoever's suit they're in. And now going back to the larva suit, we actually find out that the girl in the larva suit didn't just become a part of the larva suit. She actually turned into a cocoon, which will now end up becoming Mothra. So in short, Goji is basically biting a bunch of people and turning these monsters that he's supposed to be fighting into actual real monsters, and they are gaining the powers of the suits that they are in. So today we're going to continue going over the series and see what crazy things happen next. Again, this entire series was made by the incredible creator Unknowingly, whose channel link will be at the top of the description down below. Please be sure to go and support your analog horror content creators. All right, guys, I'm super excited to jump back into this series today. So here we go. Let's jump right in. Tape 11. 7 updates, 1964. I've gotten several updates on what happened after the Masura incident. A little blurrier this time, I think. 7 important things happened during that. Hit me with them. The spy had passed by a room where a Toho executive and government figure were talking. Government figure? They were talking about the current state on the matter. Talking about the cocoon, the current state Gojira was in, the news, etc. The most important detail I got from that was that I finally knew who was helping them along with hiding this. The government's helping them? Secondly was the cocoon. The cocoon, or chrysalis, was forming in one of the warehouses that stored the props for filmmaking. That's insane. They're just growing a Mothra pretty much. They got people to try and take it off, but when touching the cocoon, it sprayed an orange gas that flooded the room, presumably being something radioactive or poisonous. Thankfully, no one got hurt. They evacuated the warehouse instead of removing it. They want to keep it. Studying purposes? I'm very agitated about this whole situation. They're doing stupid little mistakes that ruin other people's lives. Thirdly, scientists or specialists arrived on the scene where the man in the suit released his blood. Yes, the vomited, boiling blood. Expecting the same puddle from before, but they were met with this. What happened to the puddle? Is it smoking? It had gotten so bad that they needed people in hazmat suits so they can come closer to the puddle. As they looked at the puddle, they realized they needed to shut down the area. Why? What's wrong with it? Tell me! They were too afraid to touch the substance, so they closed down the area. Fourthly, someone at the scene of the puddle said that they could have seen an eyeball in the foaming puddle. They weren't too sure to believe their claims, thinking it could have been a hoax. Are you telling me the puddle is alive? They weren't taking any chances, looking closer if they could find the eye in the puddle. They weren't successful for finding the eye in the puddle. The area around it was shut down. So is that's so odd to me. That's like really out of place for this, I feel like. Now he's vomiting blood, which seemed like it was just like his version of the atomic ray, right? Or Godzilla's atomic blast. But instead his is like a creepy blood boiling blast. But it seems there may have been like actual purpose with that, and it might be alive. Again, I don't know if this is something like in Godzilla lore that's happened before, or if there's something similar to this, but it's just really, really odd. They're saying they can't find the eye now, but that can't be. Oh, Random comment. Fifthly, I found out that they were going to make another movie despite what is going on. Of course. I mean, they've made like 4 already despite what's going on. Sixth, I've gotten mail from one of my daughters. Nah, this guy has a family, bro. What does it say? Me, mommy, you, camera. What's that on the left? We miss you, Daddy. Dear blank, I've been worried about you. It was only supposed to be 1 movie. Is there more? Are you okay? What's going on? Okay, so this guy, the cameraman, I guess was only supposed to work on one of the Godzilla movies. Now that he's staying there and like looking into this, his family's even concerned. I'm concerned for this guy's family because Toho knows that he's kind of like up to something, especially when they fired him and stuff. I miss them. I'm stuck here, only here to show what happened. I want to go home, but I can't. He's determined to get this, to see this through. To, I guess, try to find a way to stop it. Last thing I got updated on was getting a concept art for what the new monster would look like. This time, I'm going to try and intervene, okay? I can't let this happen. Not for the 3rd time. There he is. Ghidorah. 3-headed dragon. Okay, so a few things. I had said in my first video that I really had a lot of thoughts about like Toho was weird with this, that they knew this was going on, that they were trying to prevent issues, but also still kind of having the man in the suit in these movies. Like it's weird that they would still have him around playing Godzilla, but also at the same time, they're like trying to prevent other monsters from being created. Like if you're really trying to prevent the monsters from being created, then get rid of the man in the suit or completely isolate him, find a way to fix him. Keep making movies, go ahead, but get a new Godzilla, you know what I mean? But the fact that they're with government officials is really weird. Like, what is the point of that? Why would the government be involved with the man in the suit directly? Unless there's something else going on that we just don't fully know yet. One more thing that I want to call out. Some people were calling some similarities between this Godzilla and Shin Godzilla in the comments on my previous video, and this one's pretty interesting. We do know that the person that's being Godzilla in this series is eventually going to evolve and mutate. In fact, he's kind of mutated a little bit already. Check out this comment by Greenboy466. In Shin Godzilla, a 2016 remake of Godzilla, Godzilla had a deleted scene of him throwing up rivers of his own blood due to him constantly evolving and mutating. The idea didn't end up making it into the movie, but it works great here as well. I wouldn't doubt that the creator unknowingly knew about this deleted scene and decided to try to do something similar in the series. I think it would make sense for Godzilla to definitely be evolving and mutating at this point this far into the series, and maybe him throwing up his own blood is like a sign of that for people that are like real Godzilla fans that know what that is. But I can't seem to find anything about the blood mutating into something. If you guys know anything about that, let me know in the comments down below. And one more thing. So in the description for this one, there is some dialogue. It must be from the conversation between the Toho producer and the government official. And here's what it says. This is what I heard from the conversation. We made our deal whenever it bit onto the Anguirus actor. Yeah, but we as a company don't want this anymore. Too late. It was your fault you made the second movie, then the one after that. I get it, but why even keep it alive? Why do we have to keep it? That is classified information. But why must we keep it? If we took it and someone sees the abomination, both of us are going to fall. But if you do it, we will be in your favor. We don't want to scare the public. Interesting. Besides, the deal was that we keep quiet if you supply us enough yen from your kaiju movies. What I'm confused about is whenever you took him to do audio tests on him in 1956, there was a tape that was misplaced with a speech that angered him. It was some sort of misinput. You're positive? Yes. Why must you make our company associated with it, like the logo and everything? Didn't I tell you that answer? I apologize. Forgiven. Just want to inform you that we have a script in works about a movie with a 3-headed monster. And if you have another incident, Don't worry, this costume will be fitted with some puppeteering, thicker skin made of a material that he can't chomp on. We will be good. Good. And if another incident happens, you will be stuck to make another suit for Gojira. Hire a new actor, make sure that the suit is sanitized and clean. And what would you do with the man in the suit? That's classified information. I'm extremely confused about that. Okay, so if this is between the government official and Toho, what is the deal that they made? It seems that Toho wants out of this at this point, which is, I guess, why they tried to prevent the whole Mothra incident happening. When Godzilla was trying to protect the larva so it could finish transforming, Toho kind of went in and tased Godzilla to get him away so that they could try to save the person in the larva. So it does seem that they actually do want out. But apparently they made some deal and now they're screwed. Now what's interesting is that the Toho person says, I'm confused about is whenever you took him to do audio tests on him in 1956, there was a tape that was misplaced with a speech that angered him, which is the Oppenheimer quotes that we heard. And I remember saying that that was really weird that they would play that, but it seems that they played it to piss him off. And the government official says it was a misinput, but come on, that's a bunch of crap. Apparently Toho has a plan to make sure that this Ghidorah suit doesn't happen to have the same incident as the past suits by having it have thicker skin and thicker material or whatever. Let's be real, man in the suit is going to find a way around that somehow. I don't know, this deal is very confusing to me. I'm not sure what's being implied here. The government seems like they want him around for something, even though Toho doesn't want him anymore. But I guess it's time to jump in to the Ghidorah incident. Tape 12. Ghidorah suit incident, 1964. Before we start this one, there seems to be some footage from one of the Godzilla movies, so I just want to clarify that if the footage is muted after I stop speaking here, then it's probably because it got copyrighted, but I promise you audio will come back. What creature is that?
Nothing the screen has ever shown before can surpass the thrills of Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
Ghidorah? Nah, it's definitely Ghidorah. Aw, damn, look at the way he comes in. That's awesome. I've never seen the originals before, like the OGs. Toho decided to be more careful and cautious during filming their next film. Their plan was to make a semi-puppet, semi-suit. Their reasoning for this is to possibly confuse the man in the suit. Okay. Should've just made it a puppet entirely, but... Toho have been testing with new materials that would be resistant to heavy damage. He's definitely gonna find a way around it somehow. These materials consisted of blank, blank, and blank. Nice. There's definitely like an upgrade in this video compared to the past ones. The lower body would have this toughened material. It's probably where the actor would be. The head and neck, however, were made for puppeteering, meaning they wouldn't be made of this material. Most other kaiju that were in the film were puppets. Learning from their mistakes from last time, the larva for Mothra was now a puppet. This time, I will intervene. I'm curious what he's gonna do. Oh, a gun. Okay, cameraman, I didn't know you got it like that. I know it sounds risky to go to a workplace with a shotgun, but this thing needs to be put down, once and for all. Finally, someone's taking the initiative to kill this thing, after all this time. His appearance changes, I'm not sure how. Might be Toho's doing. Oh, so he looks different than before? Toho's team were incredibly confident about this plan. Footage is glitching out a bit. However, their confidence was put to the test. They only had one last thing to film. The man in the suit was behaving properly because of heavy security. The man in the suit couldn't possibly take a bite out of the suit actor because of the tough material. However, they have forgotten about one thing. Is it the vomiting blood that's boils? According to how it's built, the neck and head were the most vulnerable parts. There is no way. The neck and the head was supported by the suit's actor's arms and hands. Bruh. There was a contraption that makes it so the suit actor would pull on a lever to open the mouth of Ghidorah. In one of the last shots, the man in the suit would just stay there, not moving. Then he would start to shake violently. Yup, he's gonna do it. He's gonna use his own version of the blast. The team on the set tried to do something, but the suit actor for Ghidorah got too close. He's gonna no way he vomits into its mouth. The man in the suit would bite onto the head of Ghidorah. I don't like how smooth its skin looks now. The man in the suit would puke the same red boiling substance from before in the Ghidorah suit's head. Oh my god. This acidic substance ran through the actor's arm that supported the neck. This was when I started to enter the studio. However, some of the workers there were confused. They might be confused about me bringing a guitar case, the shotgun I brought being inside of it. It's actually not a bad disguise for the shotgun, to be honest. That's what I was concerned about. I was like, how is he just gonna walk in there with that? They stopped me and asked me a question. Where have you been? Fired? I asked, wasn't I fired? You never were, they replied. Wait. So someone sent a fake letter saying he was fired? As I barged through ignoring their comments, I realized that the set they were in had a power box in the room. He must have noticed me because after puking his acidic blood in the head of Ghidorah's suit, he faced the power box. It happened so fast. Shut up. No way. I can't believe we're getting footage right now. Dude, just whip out the shotgun. Oh. Oh my god, he actually shot. Did he? No way he got him. Oh my god, he got him. Did he blow his head off completely? Oh my god. He actually got him. No. Nah. It's regenerating? What am I looking at? I gotta translate it. I can't even tell what this is though. So when you translate what it said at the end there, you get "you can't kill God," which definitely means Godzilla survived that shot and may have in fact like regenerated somehow. Firstly, before I even jump into like all of my thoughts and theories and everything, Unknowingly, if you're watching this, I want to let you know that was incredible. Based off of even the first video I reacted to in this one, there's such a difference between the quality. I mean, you had what seemed like actual, I believe that was animation, that running scene. It seemed like you had fresh images that you created. The text even coming on screen was nicer. The whole VHS vibe was nicer. You could definitely tell the production value has gone up so much. Incredibly proud of you, and you've done such a great job. I'm happy that despite the crap that happened online after you got your first big wave of popularity, that you continued to push through and strive and work on this, and it came out so well. Very good job, Unknowingly. I just had to say that. First thing I want to talk about, we were lied to, or our main character was lied to. He apparently was fired from Toho, but turns out he wasn't. He was never fired. And in the comments here, someone said, "What a plot twist. The man in the suit knew that the cameraman attempted to stop this, so he pretended to be the official Toho episodes ago and somehow sent him a letter telling him that he was fired from the job so that he couldn't stop him from creating more monsters and suits." And Unknowingly liked that comment, pretty much confirming like, yeah, that's true. So the man in the suit was actually the one that sent the letter to our main character saying he was fired, so that he would try to prevent him, you know, just hoping, being like, all right, you're fired, don't come back here, all right, don't worry about this. Another thing is, I'm happy that someone actually shot Godzilla, shot the man in the suit, because man, this should have happened like 40 episodes ago. I mean, with all the concerning things happening, and someone finally did it, our character finally did it, only to figure out that Godzilla can regenerate ridiculously fast. And obviously the Ghidorah suit seems to now be a creature too, although I'm sure this one's gonna be like grossly deformed since he like used his boiling blood vomit on it. I can't even imagine being in a suit for a movie and acting it out, and then all of a sudden you just get this boiling blood coming down your arm and burning you, and then now transforming you into somewhat of a real Ghidorah. He really is creating like an army here. Now he's gonna have Mothra soon come out of that cocoon. We got Anguirus and we got Ghidorah. I'm not sure what others we can get. I know King Kong was killed. I know there's definitely a few others that I just can't remember the names of off the top of my head, but I'm curious where this is gonna go, because this can't just keep happening, you know what I mean? Like, obviously it's going to continue, but different things have to be done. How would you destroy the man in the suit now? If you tried shooting him, you literally blew his head off and then he just regenerated. I feel like the only way to get rid of him would be to completely destroy his body entirely, which again, how would you do that? As a single person trying to stop this, how would you do that? But again, incredible job, Unknowingly. If you guys would like to go support Unknowingly, their channel will be at the top of the description down below. Please be sure to go and support your analog horror content creators. I really do love this series, and I'm so happy to see it back, and I hope we get another episode somewhat soon, but again, no rush. always willing to wait for good work. Also, guys, don't want you forgetting we are sponsored by GamerSupps. You can check them out using the link in the description down below and using code Immortal for 20% off. All you do is put a few scoops in your water and you could either get more energy or get a delicious drink. And also, if we do get enough sales, we might be able to get a flavor of our own soon. Link in the description. If you guys did enjoy this video overall, please don't forget to drop a like on it. It helps spread it out to more and more people. And also, please don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to hit 1 million before the end of the year. Thank you guys so much. We just hit 600k recently. I can't thank you guys enough. But all right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.